It has been 6 months since the Israel-Hamas war broke out, and in all this time, there have been many chapters for this war. Let's take a look at some of them. Hamas gunmen stormed southern Israel from Gaza on October 7th, killing at least 1,200 people and capturing 253 hostages. A day later, on October 8th, the Israeli government formally declared war on Hamas militants in Gaza, setting the stage for a massive military response to Hamas's attack on Israel. On October 9th, Israel declared a complete siege of Gaza, cutting off water, food and power supplies for the besieged enclave. 4 days later, on October 13th, the Israeli army ordered the evacuation of 1.1 million people living in the north of the Gaza Strip, telling them to go towards the southern districts of the Gaza Strip. On October 21st, 8 trucks were allowed to enter Gaza through the Rafah border crossing from Egypt. At the same time, some dual citizenship holders were also allowed to leave the besieged enclave. Despite warnings from the White House that a full-scale invasion could cause heavy civilian casualties, the Israeli military expanded its ground operations. The Jabalia refugee camp that has been the target of multiple Israeli airstrikes during the war was struck again on 31st of October, killing over 100 people. On November 15th, the Israeli Defense Forces raided the Al-Shifa hospital that houses hundreds of patients and thousands of displaced people. On November 21st, Israel and Hamas announced their first and so far the only truce of the war that led to the fighting being paused for 7 days. During the truce, Israel released 240 Palestinian prisoners in exchange of 105 hostages being held by Hamas. A few days after the truce expired, Israeli forces launched their first big ground assault in southern Gaza on the outskirts of the main southern city of Rafah. On January 2nd, Deputy head of the political bureau of Hamas, Saleh al-Aruri, was killed in an explosion in the south of the Lebanese capital, Beirut. Al-Aruri was one of the top Hamas leaders to be killed. After weeks of diplomacy led by the US and mediated by Qatar and Egypt, Netanyahu rejected a Hamas counter-offer for a ceasefire, describing the terms as delusional. On March 25th, the United Nations Security Council adopted a resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.